Hi again, YouTube. I'm Janet Morgan. I'm a mom, I'm an illustrator, and I'm a children's book author. And I started this channel so that I could talk about children's literature and give book recommendations about like some of my favorite kids' books that we've read over the years. I've read probably thousands of children's books at this point, and there are just certain ones that have become real favorites at our house, and I would really like to share them with you and just talk about like why I think these books are the real standout winners. I shared 3 books last time that were just general favorites. This time I tried to stick to a little bit of a theme because I thought that might be fun. The books I picked today are all set in rural/farming, homesteady type settings. Anyway, but I feel like they're all very unique. They are not just your classic Old MacDonald's Had a Farm type books. So I'm going to get started with this one. And it's called, make sure the shine's not on it, Balloon Farm. This book, I cannot believe that it is not more popular. And I'm going to show you why when I show you the illustrations. Look at how rich they are. They are so colorful. They are so exciting. And let me open it up to some of the opening pictures. Look at this. Harvey Potter is a farmer, but he's a balloon farmer. He's not a farmer like anybody else you've ever met who grows corn or soybeans or potatoes. And the narrator of the story, this little girl, goes on in this really wonderful kind of authentic, I would say like southern country rural voice. And that's what makes this book really good, is the voice of the narrator is so authentic sounding. But it's this wonderful like fantasy. And another really fun thing about this book, and let me see if I can find an example, is that it has sort of these little hidden pictures all throughout it. As you read it, every single page has the chicken, a dinosaur, like in this case, it's one of the balloons, a cow, a pig, and like one other animal. Oh, there's a bunny. Sometimes it's just the animals themselves are in the picture, but other times they're hidden in maybe the leaves of a tree or a cloud, and it's so fun and sometimes really challenging to find the animals on every page. And I also love some of the underlying messages of this book. For instance, listen to this page, this little paragraph. Now I'm going to have a hard time finding it. It's the little girl's perspective, and it goes like this. After a while, I just liked going around him. He didn't ask you no questions about why you weren't this or that. He just let a person be. He let a person sit and think out loud sometimes. And, well, that's a mighty good thing to do. And that is like the tone of this story. It's wonderful. I would highly, highly recommend you get this and you read it with your kids. It is funny. It has great style all the way through. And the story is really wholesome. So, read Balloon Farm. That needs to be on your list. The next book, now that I've gone on and on about Balloon Farm, which was one that my parents read me when I was a kid and I had to find for my kids. The next one is Journey Cake Ho. This one has pictures by Robert McCloskey, which I believe is the same illustrator who does Make Way for Ducklings and some other really classic children's books. This is another one that doesn't have really brightly colored illustrations, but the details are just great. The pictures have so much motion to them. If you look at the cover, you can really tell. I'm going to set this way a little bit just to get a better angle, I feel like. Like, look at this picture. Look at the animals. They're so charming and funny. Look at the motion. I love that. Some books really have that. I find it so fun that different books' illustrations are special for different reasons. Look at the old couple. This one has this really wonderful old country couple. I would say this book has a very Appalachian feel. I live in the Ozarks. I would say this also has sort of an old Ozarks feel to it. The way that the old couple talk is very old-fashioned sounding. This book's had some love. Look at the scribbles. Sadly, it got scribbled on, but it's still good to read. This one has a very lyrical tone. It has a little bit of rhyming in it, but the whole book doesn't rhyme. this is just such a good one. It's an older book. I'm not sure if it's still in print, but you could probably find it used on eBay. That's what I do a lot when I'm looking for older books. And this one has sort of that repetition throughout the book where it sort of repeats itself throughout and is very fun to read out loud because of that. So, yeah, Journey Cake Ho, another really wonderful kind of country setting that I feel like has an authentic ring to it. I love that one. And then finally, this book is a little bit more simple. This is a really, really good bedtime story. It's called Mama Will You. I think that this one may have been in the Dolly Parton library a few years back. I'm not sure if they still have this one in with that selection of books, which if you don't know about the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, that's a really wonderful program where you can enroll your children. I think it's still going. And they get a book a month for free for the first 5 years of their lives. And it's was started by Dolly Parton, but it's run, I think, by like lots of local groups. A lot of times banks or other institutions will be behind the funding for their area. It's just a really wonderful program, and the books tend to be pretty good quality. A lot of those books have become family favorites. But anyway, back to this one after my little tangent. But I like people to know about resources like that, because if you're trying to grow your kids' library, that's a great way to do it. This book is rhyming. It's a very simple rhyming scheme, and it's unique because it has 2 illustrators. The first page will be illustrated with these very simple, almost stencil-like animals. And then the next page will have sort of an answering rhyme and the picture of the mother answering her child. And each of the little pictures works like that. For instance, this one goes, Mama, will you ride the foal? Yes or no or maybe. Coat as black as dusty coal. Ride with me and baby. And then you turn the page and you have the answer. No, we will not ride the foal, for foals are babies too. I'll find a strong and dappled horse to ride with both of you. And each of the pages is like that. And it's just very, very beautiful. The interactions between the mama and the children are so sweet. This book doesn't take very long to read, but it has a very soothing rhythm to it, and I love reading this at night. And I feel like the pictures are really where the authenticity comes in on this one. The barefoot mother. I know that like there's a joke of, oh, you know, you live in the country and you run around pregnant and barefoot. You know what? Some of my happiest times were pregnant and barefoot. And I dare you to really find the harm in that. Sweet, sweet interactions. I love how it captures really young childhood, just the simple rhythms of a day. And then it's set in the country is unique. You don't necessarily find a lot of modern country settings. That's actually something I really love to incorporate in books that I'm working on. A sort of simplified country setting, but it's not necessarily supposed to be a long, long time ago. And that's one of the things I love about this book. Oh, even the back is pretty. So those were just 3 today. Balloon Farm for the humor and for the just detail and just vibrancy of the pictures and the really sweet underlying stories about friendship. Journey Cake Ho for just the pure humor and kind of rollicking tempo to this book. And Mama Will You for the sweet bedtime vibes and also beautiful illustrations. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for listening to me geek out about kids' books, which is something that I will happily do with anyone who will listen to me. I definitely want to do these kinds of videos again. I definitely like the idea of maybe theming them a little bit. There were books that I thought about putting in this video that were actually slightly different vibes. You know, like this one was very agrarian and other ones were more like nature themed, even though they sort of had that same gritty or like authentic country voice. They were more based in like the natural world rather than maybe a farm life. So I will do some of those another video. If you're interested in my book is available on Amazon. It's called A Pumpkin for Grubs. And my second book is coming very soon. I will try to insert a picture here of the teaser, and I should be announcing the actual cover and title very soon. Thanks for being with me today, and I'll see you next time.